got home, my sneakers were full of sand, and I dumped it in my bedroom floor. I didn't know the difference. I was 6. My father screamed at me for the mess, but he wasn't mad. He said that billions of years ago the world shifting and oceans moving brought that sand to that spot on the beach, and then I took it away. Every day, he said, we changed the world. Which is a nice thought until I think about how many days and lifetimes I would need to bring a shoe full of sand home until there is no beach, until it made a difference to anyone. Every day we change the world, but to change the world in a way that means anything, that takes more time than most people have. It never happens all at once. It's slow, it's methodical, it's exhausting. We don't all have the stomach for it. How do I take off a mask when it stops being a mask? Sometimes my mask takes over.
We had a really good week last week. A lot of great things happened. Okay, let's first look at news here before I kind of look at what's been happening here. We've had breaks of structure here even a, do we have a break of structure to the downside here with Dixie? What's the Dixie doing here? Looks like there's a recovery with Dixie. It's gonna be happening. Let's check the lowest level of external structure here. Do we have a break? Do we have a retracement? Let's check this out here. All right, so let's check this out. I got Discord popped up, guys, so if you have any questions in the chat box, feel free to ask either on Discord or here. Hold on, I think I have the chat box opened up here somewhere. Give me a second, guys. All right, I got the chat box pulled up. Sometimes I don't. Okay, so the first thing that I'm looking into right now is I'm looking at specifically, all right, DXY. I want to see if there is a break of structure to the downside, which there is here on the 4 hour, which is really good news here. Okay, that's actually amazing news. That means we have an external break of structure both on the 4 hour, on the 8 hour here, like it shows. Okay, and then we also have a break of structure also on the, let's see, the 12 hour. We have it on the 12 hour almost, but the daily we have kind of almost a break of structure on the daily. I just need to see this real quick. Let me show you guys here. I want to see that break of structure. Need to check the daily if it has that break of structure. Wow, this is going to be tight. Pause. Kind of like broken even on the daily. 4 hour confirms a shift in structure, even though the daily doesn't. 4 hour confirms a shift in structure anyway. 4 hour and 8 hour. So what I'm looking for specifically is still on that 4 hour time frame here. I feel like we've already had that mitigation kind of come back into this zone. Okay. Primarily what I'm looking for is a sell. It's going to be a sell of external structure right around this zone here. No, this is internal. This is external. External sells right around here. And then I'm also looking for, give me a second, guys. I'm just setting this up here real quick. Okay, I'm looking also for a sell around this specific zone here as well. Let's go to internal structure. You already have mitigation, swipe of liquidity, mitigation here. I think we're gonna swipe last week's Friday high and take it down. Yeah. I believe price is gonna move to the upside here. And then we're gonna probably come back to, if we go into the lower time frames of that external structure, back at least here. Internal sells right here, as this embodies that whole zone. Okay, so what does that mean? That means I'm seeing assets. If Dixie moves high, that means assets fall, like SPX falls, gold falls, Bitcoin falls, all that stuff falls. Okay. Let's look at the news for this week first as well. Give me 1 second. The display here has got my eyes going crazy right now. Okay. So first thing here that we're looking at right now, obviously this thing is going to move to the upside. We're going to see SPX most likely break structure, okay, this coming week here. So let's go over SPX. I actually want to go over news real quick before I go over SPX. Okay, CAD news, CPI Inflation's actually going down for CAD, which is really good. That was good news for Canadian dollar. Let's look at what other news we have this week. GDP flash PMI, that's definitely big. ADP employment change. This is really, really big news we need to pay attention to. Non-farm employment change. So this normally comes out the beginning of the month, but tomorrow it's going to come out at 8:30, which is interesting because this is numbers from 2 weeks ago. Because of the government shutdown, they've been delayed, right? 11 days. I'm very curious to see how the market's going to react to this, because the chances of us getting a rate cut here are not the highest. Okay, we have a smaller chance of getting a rate cut. We don't have that big of an odd to get a rate cut. I'm just being honest with you guys. The opportunities for us to get a rate cut are not that high. We can go to the Fed Watch tool here and see what the chances are. But just from my opinion, they're not that high. Okay. A lot of people predicting that we're going to get an even bigger cut, or kind of a staying the same. Because our current rate cuts right now are what? We're at already 350 to 375. So we're not probably going to get a cut until April. Okay. So these numbers are pretty bad. Again, back to back bad NFP reports. The job market is for sure taking a hit. Okay. Let's just look at 24, 25. That's excluding COVID here. $51K out of 119 isn't the best. This is technically bearish. If expectations come out worse than expected, we should see a bearish week this week. And to be brutally honest, I could actually see, you're already seeing SPX price this in right now today after the news hit. I could see Dixie actually even this week breaking and coming back here and then selling off, and then potentially selling off as we enter the new year, right? You could see a mitigation of this specific external structure candle right here. External selling pressure. And one thing I want you guys to also be aware of too is because of this here, we're also entering, this is like going to be the last trading week of the month where you're going to see any kind of crazy volatility, because usually there's no more volatility around this time of the year. After this week, it's Christmas and everybody's hanging out, they're chilling, they're not really doing anything crazy, you know? So, okay, let's lock this in right now. So the next thing I kind of want to take a look at here is retail sales. So we got retail sales, we have unemployment rate here. Retail sales right now is coming out lower than expected. So let's do this. Let's just kind of break this down very simple. NFP we have is negative news. So this is bearish for SPX. Core retail sales month over month, bearish for SPX. Average earnings month over month, a little bit more bullish for SPX. Weekly employment change is tentative. We don't even know if we're going to get these numbers because of the government shutdown. But right now we have 3 bearish news against 4. I mean 2 bearish news against 3. Okay, retail sales month over month, also bearish. Okay, unemployment rate higher than expected. Okay, month over month as well. Okay, so the unemployment is also increasing here. I think this is one of the biggest. Hold on. I've been seeing this number increase slowly since, man, how bad was the unemployment? The last time it was this bad was in November 5th of 2021 was the last time unemployment was this bad. That was the top of the market, ironically. November 5th was the top of the crypto market cycle. All right? And this was all just COVID. I wouldn't even really count this because this is all COVID. We got to look at normal conditions here. Not COVID. 2017. The problem is, if you see this ascension here I want you guys to see something here, because obviously 2022 we had a little silent recession. It's the ascension that is really kind of freaking people out, or freaking the Fed out. This small ascension here into 4.4, 4.5 now, unexpected. This is bearish for markets. It might actually create a bearish movement, and the market's going to start pricing this in. Maybe tomorrow, if it's very bearish, the market might move to the upside because it's already priced in, and it might create another rate cut. But that's bearish. Flash PMI, worse than expected. At least it's above 50. Anything below 50 is very bearish. This is somewhat neutral. Flash PMI, Flash Services PMI is somewhat bearish, but at least it's above 50, which means that we're still in expansion here. Okay. We got a lot of bearish movement for jobs tomorrow, and you're starting to see, and this is why we want to go into SPX here. You're starting to see SPX price this in, and I spoke about this, I think, when was it, a couple months ago here, about this specific zone. One good thing that I could see here is that we did break structure here, but this whole area being mitigated is kind of what I talked about, us then creating another lower low. What I believe is going to happen is this. Okay, we are going to see some bearish movement here. This entire impulse move that's happened from November 19th, there needs to be some sort of massive correction in order for us to mitigate and then move to a higher high. This is the good thing. Okay, SPX, we're still in a rate cutting year. Okay, this is the last rate cutting year. After this year, we're going to probably hit some sort of mini, not recession, but like slowdown in markets, like a massive slowdown, because we've had just back-to-back really good market movement here. Okay, so what I want you guys to be aware of is there's going to be a slowdown here, and that's going to most likely happen after this year. As we're looking at the daily here, we're seeing breaks of structure here, okay, on this indecisional candle, and we're also seeing lower lows being created now. Okay, not the best even on external structure here. So what that means for me is that this thing is shifting. This thing is in distribution mode, okay, with a spring move for the swipe of liquidity, and probably we're going to move to the downside here. So I'm going to be looking for sells most likely tomorrow. For what? For SPX. I'm going to be looking for sells. I'm interested in this selling zone here. And then I'm interested in also internal structure selling zones, probably over here. This thing's already been mitigated over here. So the selling zone is going to be around this zone here tomorrow, as this thing creates lower lows. So we're going to be looking for SPX to move to the downside. Only temporarily, though. The reason I say temporarily is because this thing is still bullish. We still have an external break of structure. So this thing is going to go down, but I'm going to try to figure out how far down we're going to go. One area that really excites me a lot is this area specifically. You see this area right here? This area right here is where I believe price can kind of hit a standstill before the new year. And this is what? An internal buy, or is it external buy? This is a really solid external buying structure. And around this buying structure zone as well, other than this area that I'm looking at, it gives it a nice retracement here of about 50%, right? We're seeing a 50% area kind of retracement from all movements here. So we have a discounted price zone. Not only do we have a discounted price zone, we have an indecisional institutional area here, okay? We probably will see price, if it does break this here, retrace, come down, sell off, come here. And we'll have a solid pullback in markets on average of about 3 to 4%, which is what it usually does during Christmas time, okay? And then we're going to move to the upside. Now, one thing I do want to check out here, and I'm glad that it was mentioned in the comment here, was obviously check the gap also on ES. Futures is really good because it gives us a better perspective as well when it comes to just kind of seeing different areas of where price movement may go. And even as you're looking at, like, let's say NAS, you're looking at even futures, different future pairs, you can kind of see it all moving in the same sort of light here, right? And even I would say the SPY, if we take a look at SPY, okay, you have gaps. You have gaps that do need to get filled. Okay, specific gaps. One right here, okay, in price discrepancy, one here, and one price discrepancy area here. So that gives us a little bit of a sign. Usually price discrepancy areas do get filled. So price, we could see price for sure coming down here. It gives us a little bit of a clue because there's a lot of price discrepancy. And then we have a lot of discrepancy here. A lot of discrepancy. Okay. Does unemployment rate going up cause Dixie to be bearish? Usually it causes Dixie to be bullish as a safe haven asset. Okay, so I really do like this zone here because that specific gap to the downside would be a 3% and a fill here. It kind of gives me back to the, it brings me back to this specific zone that I'm looking at, which is this zone here. And honestly, if it gets really bad, I could see a swipe of liquidity here for sure. Now, I do want price to come down. I do. Why? Just like we've seen here, we get a massive extension to the upside. You see this order flow here? Then we get the extension to the upside. I want to see something like this for January. I want to see a slowdown. I want to see an impulse move. And then what? Order flow. Slowly come in, get a bunch of people to sell, and then we swipe them all out with buys. I want to see order flow start taking place, okay? And then from there, I want to start looking for very big long positions, because if I can get a very solid long position here, remember when we caught NVIDIA in April, and we caught it at the absolute low, and we made like 120, I think it was like 80 to 90% on NVIDIA? I'm looking at something like that to happen as well. Okay, because if we get that move to the downside, what we're going to be able to see long term on swinging, because I'm a swing trader, guys, remember, I'm not a scalper here. Okay, we'll be able to see a potential massive movement, and we'll be able to start taking a 1 to 14 trade, just like we're taking with gold, just like we're taking with some of these other pairs. We've had some really, really crazy risk to reward trades come just because of the ability, okay, to see this on a seasonality perspective and to swing trade it. And we're just going to be buying all next year. So I'm really excited because we're going to be making a lot of money in January. The markets are going to move like crazy. And we're going to have a big pullback before that comes, so it could set us up properly for that movement that comes in the market. So this is kind of what I'm predicting here. Okay, I do want to see sells tomorrow. I think that we're going to easily, just based on price structure, I think that we're going to easily, if we don't break this zone here, I believe that we're going to probably break it with news, and we're already seeing it break. But if the NFP report is even lower than expectations, we can expect a sell-off on SPY tomorrow of at least even 2%. We could see a huge sell-off and finally get Bitcoin to go to our price zone that we wanted to go towards. Okay, now let's look at NAS. Same thing, right? I was looking at this structural zone. We had a break last week, so it doesn't matter. NAS is for sure coming down to here, but to be brutally honest, this is internal. Let me switch this structure. If we see the job market report go even under than expectations tomorrow, we're going to see SPY go to its second level and this level here, and that's when I'm going to want to buy. Okay, and I'm looking tomorrow. I think it might come out lower. If it surprises me, then we're going to have a jump in markets. Let's look at, ES was kind of what we were talking about here. Same thing, right? ES gaps, right? The gaps on ES have to kind of fill. Okay, NQ, same thing, gaps that have to fill. Let's look at the volatility index here. I do want to see volatility index run just a little bit more. I have no confirmation on the volatility index. It's still creating lower lows. Gold volatility index looks like it's about to retrace here just a bit. But we still have gaps to fill here, here, and here. Let's look at the 10-year yield here just so we can get a little bit of a better idea of what's happening with the yield. Okay, so Thursday it kind of went down to where we were looking at here on like the daily zone. I don't like that yields are actually increasing because that means bonds are moving down. Usually if yields are going to the upside and bonds are moving down, liquidity is going into the market. Or it's going into Dixie, which is interesting. Let's look at our gold trade. Dude, this is another historic gold trade. And you know, obviously, guys, when I give out like 1 to 7s, they might take a long time to execute, right? I made like what? I think it was like 3-4 grand on this trade. But like, again, we caught 15,000 pips, man. Who else is catching 15,000 pips? This thing is going to continue to the upside. It had a retracement today. I'm looking for another buying zone, potentially. Let me look at this right now. This thing looks like it's already going to be bought up for Asian right now. If it starts breaking structure, I'm going to start looking for buys during Asian. But look at what this thing did. This is beautiful, man. Look at this mitigation here. You see that? Mitigation right here during the 11 a.m. and then a swipe of liquidity and then a move to the upside. You see that? This thing is going to continue its run, and it's going to go to where I believe the next area is. And because we've broken this structure, you know, the target area that I see next coming is this area. So with this pullback in mind here, guys, I am looking at gold to go to. Specifically, let's get rid of this indicator here. Let's move to this to the upside. You're going to look for another buy here tomorrow. Right here. Right around the swipe of liquidity if possible. Okay. And you're going to want to look at 1.14 as a safe target to previous highs. You're going to want to also target... Let's look at this deeper because I don't want to fuck this up for you guys. Okay, first target, you're gonna look at this order block here. This is the bottom of the order block. The break of the order block will be here. You're gonna want to target highs. Highs will have sell-offs. Okay. The 1.14 is the safest. You'll have a retracement here around the order block here. Okay. So we're looking for buys here. So obviously our 1 to 7, this one's going to be another 1 to 8. Okay. 1 to 7, 1 to 8. Clinton Berry. Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I think we've caught a total of like 100,000 points or something like that. Dude, it's nothing normal, man. I mean, it's nothing ordinary. Unordinary for us. I swing trade a lot, so those moves are very common for us, man. So what we're looking at here is, okay, that Asian range. We need to see that break of the Asian range somewhere here, okay? We're going to see some... I want to see a swipe and then a run to the upside. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. All right, let's look at this here. Over 15,000 points, bro. Gold futures, kind of the same concepts here. We're just having a mitigation here, and then it's going to probably run to the upside, or at least come to what? Come to this area here, this mitigation. And then we'll see what happens with price. All right, so we'll trade tomorrow morning. I'm not going to get into it on Asian session. It's just too much for me. GU did that run to the upside, and then I was looking for potential other buy orders. Didn't really see anything after. Let's look at another re-entry here with GU here, now that it's kind of shifted structure here. Look at the 4 hour. 4 hour. Okay. We're looking at, wow. If Dixie starts to run, GU is gonna do a big retracement. That's where I'm kind of like, if the Dixie really does start to run, we're gonna have a shift with GU, and it's no longer gonna be bullish here. So I just want to be careful with GU here, because if we do have a close below, any close at all, okay, below this zone here, I'm gonna set an alert too with GU here. Any alert below, we want to be very careful here. Any alert below, add an alert. The reason why is because we get a close here on external structure price. There's almost nothing holding price here. Look at price here. Price here is very balanced out. There is a couple areas of buying and selling pressure around the bottom here, but price is very balanced out. And when you have a balanced, market here, you're not going to see massive falls or drops. The way you're going to see it is you're going to see small balanced market movement down to the downside usually. If you have a balanced move to the upside, you're probably going to see a balanced move to the downside here. Okay, and I see us already kind of going a bit bearish here. This thing is swiping liquidity left and right. GU is funny for that. GU is very funny for that. Okay, so I just want that confirmation on the 4 hour, and then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to start most likely selling GU. If we hold, I'll look for an extension move to the upside for GU to move to the upside. That extension move would probably see GU then go to 1.27, 1.14, and we would target these highs right here. This high is the target area that I want to target. This right here and that right there. The 1.414. Honestly, the 1.68 is what most people target. I just like to target the 1.414 because it's safer. And so is the 1.82 38 area. Those are like the safer areas that I like to go after. This is just what I like to do, guys. You guys can do whatever you want to do, right? You guys can do whatever you want to do, right? I'm not a financial advisor, remember? Okay, I'm just a guy sitting at home with his laptop. Okay? You guys can do whatever you want to do. All right. If I start to see that break even here with GU, same thing. All right. Let's look at USD CAD here. I was looking for sells on CAD the other day when we were there Thursday, and you see that? You see how pretty well we actually executed that? 10 a.m. it came up here and bang. You see that? USD CAD sell. It's almost perfect, dude. Almost perfect. And that right there was, again, another great movement here, right? That was another what? 50, 45 pip move, right? With a what? With a quick 6-7 pip stop. So again, this was a great move that we did. Right now, I don't like the way USD CAD is setting itself up. It looks like it's reaccumulating for a reversal here. So what could happen, especially if we have a lot of bad news, Dixie could start to run to the upside, and we could start seeing a big reversal here with USD CAD. It looks like it's reaccumulating. I don't like the way it looks at all. I think because we've had such a fall, a market always has to balance itself out. Okay? So USD CAD, I think it's overextended to the downside. I mean, guys, we've had movement. We haven't had a solid retracement of this impulse move since November 2020, since November, okay, 25th. You have a 373 pip move here, okay? That means what? we have to probably see a shift here soon. So I am going to probably look for some type of shift in momentum. If I start to see this reaccumulation here start to take its place, I'm going to wait for the pullback, go for buys here, and then we're going to buy USD CAD to the upside. We're going to probably catch the whole wave to the upside too. Okay. But this is textbook reaccumulation. Let's look at Bitcoin here. I'm just looking at the total cryptocurrency market caps. Total cryptocurrency market caps are kind of like, I mean, crypto's going down, man. Like it's going really, really down, bro. So our Bitcoin trade executed just as great, you know. Same thing, went into the zone. Right now I'm currently in some sells, 9% down, waiting for a retracement, but depending on the news tomorrow, it might break completely. Yeah, this might be its final movement downward here that we're looking at. We're gonna finally see this order flow, institutional order flow, start to take out and wipe out all the buyers who thought this was the bottom. I think there might be some news event that'll swipe liquidity for this really bad. And what I mean by that is swipe liquidity is you're going to probably see something like this. You're going to see a lot of liquidity swiped here, just like you saw with this move here. I think we're going to have a huge swipe to 73, 72, and then a movement to the upside very quickly. Let's look at something here. Just because we want to obviously take a look at some fundamentals, let's take a look at, I'm going to end this shortly, guys, too, because I got to go. I got places to be after this call. Okay, so I am going to end this shortly here. But what I want to show you guys is this. Let's first look at ETF inflows here. I do want to see ETF flows in the bull report. That's something I want to take a look at here. Wow. Okay. BTC ETF inflows are at lows, and it looks like it's about to create another low here. So you're going to probably see that. ETF inflows are down. They're still at lows here. We have one more wave, maybe of a swipe of liquidity down to the downside, and then after that, some more. Let's look at gold ETF flows. Gold ETF flows are also really low, but it looks like a pullback is going to come here. But January, guys, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm probably last January, I think I did 40 to 50K in a trade with gold. All of you guys were there to see it. Some of my students. My goal for this January, February, March is to make $250,000 with gold, swinging it in January, February, March. So that's my goal. After obviously our flip challenge, but with a separate account, we're going to be flipping that money here. But my goal here is to make $250,000. I've had times where it could have happened if I did the math better, but that's the goal. Okay, so gold ETF flows, obviously you're seeing what? What are you seeing? You're seeing BlackRock buying a shitload of gold. BlackRock is buying gold. Okay, you're seeing Japan ETFs buy gold. I mean, on a seasonality perspective, this is going to be very easy, okay, to do here with gold, right? You see that? January, February, March, all the way up until April. And I'm going to give you guys a hint. Look at this. Look at where we are in the cycle here. With gold accumulation for inflows, for ETFs, institutions are going to stop accumulating the last 2 weeks of the month. So you're going to see this number go down here, probably go under a mil. Then the second week of January, everybody comes back from vacation. People are new year, new me. Gold will start to rally regardless, and maybe the Fed will announce some sort of QE or money printing machine. Usually January, February, March, guys, kicks off the whole year. If we have a great January, February, March, the whole year, guys, is going to be amazing. Okay, these 3 months here is like the best month for e-commerce. It's the best month for markets. It's usually the best month for like just returns, because all the institutional flows come in here. Like, think about funds that are taking profit right now. They all start taking profit where in December, but the money and the money in the sidelines starts to come in here. So we're going to see big movement in January, February, March. If you do not get rich or get some profitable trades in January, February, March, I mean, dude, that is your fault. Because gold has what? Its highest returns on average in what month? January, guys. You see that? Like, it's January. So if you don't make money, I don't know what to tell you here. Like, just historically speaking, like, you know, and guys, again, I'm not a financial advisor. You can do whatever you guys want, but I'm just letting you guys understand that and letting you guys know. Money's leaving Bitcoin and going into gold. That's what's happening. That's what the ETFs are showing you here, right? Money's leaving Bitcoin. BlackRock has been selling Bitcoin and has been dumping Bitcoin for the last couple of months just to buy some gold. Okay? And you guys see it here, right? You guys can see the inflows, right? Slowly. Now, let's look at, obviously, if that dumps, everything else is going to dump. What I'm looking at is the last stocks here, and then I have to go. I think they're going to try to. I think the market's going to try to take out MicroStrategy. I've been calling 120 for. I think the big banks and the institutions, they're going to manipulate price of Bitcoin. They're going to probably short more with options. I think they're going to try to take out. I think they're going to try to take out MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor. I think they're going to try to swing it as much as they can and try to take them out and wipe MicroStrategy out at 120, or even potentially wipe him out at $60. I think that, guys, it's all corrupt. Remember, we live in the most corrupt country in the world. America is the most corrupt country in the world. It just knows how to hide it better. They're going to try to wipe him out for sure. He's not part of their agenda. All right. All the agenda is money here. I think this will be the lowest Nvidia will go. 167, kind of like how we called it here at 95. I think Nvidia is going to go to 160. Hopefully doesn't break that zone. And then we're going to extend Nvidia to the upside. If we break this zone and Nvidia crashes, the whole economy's done. And I could see that could happen here, but who knows? We got to see how fundamentals work. Okay, Coinbase here also dumping as well. We kind of talked about this. I call the sell here on Coinbase to dump to 200 as well. All right, guys, we're going to be trading live tomorrow morning. So if you want to check that out, make sure you're in the group as well, and make sure you're up to date on the Discord. Okay, make sure that you're going out there communicating in the Discord chat. We're here to help everybody out. Okay, it's one big family, one big community. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. But a lot of people are winning. A lot of people are making money in the Discord here. So make sure that you're on it. Okay, and if you have any questions, okay, feel free to send us a message and we will help you out. But I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.